Hello and welcome to Verbal Journal episode 5. I hope everyone's been going good. In today's episode, I want to talk about the importance of openness in relationships. Let's start with that actually. Let's just start with that. I have been in a relationship for a year tomorrow. It is my anniversary with the missus tomorrow. And this is a second serious relationship that I have been in. And I feel like from the first one I had learnt a lot. But in saying that, there's still shit that I clearly never worked through on my own part. And it's stuff that has come back up now. Even when I have said stuff in the past and thought I'd worked on stuff in the past, I hadn't. I feel like it is a very difficult thing to be conscious of all the time and work through all the time. But yeah, the reason I want to talk about the openness in a relationship is for that reason. I was recently in a bit of a fight, and it was due to what wasn't in my head of that being the reason, but it was due to me not being open enough. And I feel like the second I did that, everyone was happy and everyone was understanding. And for me, I'm normally quite an open person and I will always tell people problems straight to their face. But I think the problem with me is when it is someone who is closer to me that I don't want to hurt. It's like there's something in the back of my head that tells me I can't tell them because it will hurt them. But I think in not telling them, it hurts them more. And it causes more problems. And as much as I've always known this, I clearly haven't acted on it, you know? And so, from now on, I'm going to try and be as open as possible. And in saying that, I feel like I have always been trying to do that. And I'm a very honest person as well. In the sense of, like, I will, even if you don't want to hear it, I will tell you the truth. Like, I've always been a bit like that. But I was recently talking to someone who has been they're older than me, and they've been in a relationship for over 10 years. They're married, they have a child. And they were saying, like, bro, I've been in that exact same position that you're talking about right now. And they are also within the music industry. Out of privacy reasons, I won't say who it is. But they said that. They're like, I've been through this stuff before. And it's hard because he was such a hustler and still is. And the partner wasn't necessarily. They are now. And it's taken that long to get to that point, and it's not a matter of shifting someone into being exactly like you, but what he was getting at is when they first started dating, and even within the first fucking however many years, it was a constant back and forth of they were trying to hustle, but then they weren't giving enough time to, he wasn't giving enough time to them or whatever it was, and they were doing nothing, and he would try and constantly push them into doing something they like to do and would help support that by paying for whatever it was, by giving them time into learning it with them, whatever it was, and the idea would flop. And apparently it took like multiple different activities until they got to that point of figuring out what they truly love. And I found it so ironic because I have been and am in that position. I've been in that position with my ex, but I'm also currently in that position with my current partner. And a lot of this was always in my head, but the problem is I don't fucking communicate it properly. And so a lot of this really opened my mind a bit more. And he had also given me the advice of like, you think that what is best is you work separately because you're two different people. But if you want longevity, which I do, she has to be a non-negotiable. So how can you make that, and like, how can you turn that into longevity? And that's through, instead of working separately, you are one. Like, instead of working as two wholes or two halves to make a whole, you are the whole. Like, this wasn't his words exactly either. This is just me paraphrasing, sort of thing. But the thing that I hadn't even realized I was doing was I was working on my own, in my own time. Like, I'd wake up early as every day just to get work in until she'd woken up, and then I would do everything she wanted to do, thinking that was working together, but it wasn't. And she doesn't necessarily have to do what I'm doing, but I just need to be more open in what I'm doing. Because I would always be working around her time instead of saying, this is what needs to happen and this is when I'm going to do it, and being transparent about that. And yeah, she had said like she respected the fuck out of it, and there was all this fear in my head, I think, of letting that out and telling her that, like, the fear of her getting hurt or whatever it was. And so that's why I held back. And it's not something I think about consciously. Like, I think it's a very subconscious thing, and it's at the back of my mind, and it's just the way my brain works. But I need to learn to rewire the way that my brain works, which is easier said than done. But if it's something I truly want, which it is, then I will figure out how to work through it. It's a crazy time. Like, you hear so many people going through their 20s figuring out all this shit. Bro, I thought I had so much shit figured out up until recently, where I was faced with a lot of, like, confronting challenges, and it's made me re-question a bunch of shit, bro. And I feel like now I'm going through my 20s. I don't know if it's called a quarter-life crisis or whatever the fuck it may be, but there's been a lot of change and a lot of action. I think, going back to that story as well, a lot of my problem was that I felt guilt in doing work because I wasn't paying attention to her in the short time that I do have. But that time is only short because I'm working so hard. But why am I trying to hide that work or not have her around because I need to get more shit done? It's like a, to me at the time, it had felt like a lesser of the two evils type thing. Even though I enjoy both of them, but it felt like I wasn't balancing it enough, and it was pulling further one way than the other. I don't know if that makes any fucking sense at all. And that's another point I had, was work doesn't have to be separate from your partner if you involve them. And as I said, that doesn't necessarily mean they have to do shit for you. Like, it's not... you are not running a business with them, especially right now. Maybe in the future that will change, who knows? But I'm all mean in communication. I think that's just the thing I lack in the most, is communication. Especially as of recent, where I have talked about that. I was sort of always an introvert, and then when I started making music, I had to create this person who wasn't. And after going through all this hardship that I have recently within the last year, I sort of recognized that, took a step back, and then thought, why am I trying to not be me? I am an introvert. Why am I trying to be otherwise? Like, that is naturally who I am. Why am I trying to fight that? But I think in doing that, I created too much of an introvert, and then I didn't know how to communicate that, because that wasn't the way she was used to seeing me, and it's a whole lot, really. Oh, man. The other thing... Well, these are off topic. Last week, I went to go talk... I can't remember what I talked about. What did I talk about last week? Busyness. That's what I was talking about. I was talking about you were never too busy for something or someone, Everybody has the exact same amount of time. It's just where you prioritize it on the level of importance. It's cool to see that written down, even having it done verbally. This is the whole point of this whole podcast, bro. I told everyone that I had been journaling. I was doing something called morning notes or morning pages, and I was doing it every day. But I wanted to, put that out into the universe and monetize it later on in the future. And so that's why I started this podcast. So to actually see that, like, my life honestly changes very rapidly, and it has for a long time, right? And that is living proof of that, because literally the week before I'm talking about the importance of where I put my time. So that's clearly where my head was at, but then it had built up more and then exploded and then turned into I should be working with my partner more. It's a fucking weird world, bro. It's weird how the human mind works at times as well. Like, yeah, I don't know. The weird's the only fucking thing I have to say about it. So I think that's what I ended up talking about. But I didn't want to talk about that. So these notes are relevant now. I'm gonna bin them the second I'm done with this episode. But I was going to create a talking video, and I actually had talked in the podcast, and I think I just rambled for half an hour about the one point. And I rambled around about the wrong thing. The things I did want to talk about in the last episode was the importance of scheduling, the path that has kept me on. So in that, the importance of scheduling is next to none, because I feel like no matter how hard my drive is or how like passionate I am about something, staying scheduled is what keeps me in order. I could be absolutely flat out, and if I wasn't scheduling stuff, then I would fucking painfully be stabbing myself, because you can't remember everything seems chaotic as fuck. You schedule stuff and it's in order, it runs a lot more smoothly. But the other end of that is, if I am not doing shit, or I feel like I'm not doing shit, if I'm still scheduling stuff, whether that be stuff that I'm doing for music or for myself or whatever it is, it's still keeping me doing stuff. I can't end up in a serious pit because I'm still scheduling. Scheduling and planning is like the start of everything. It's the hardest bit of everything. To start something is the hardest bit. You think about jumping out of a plane. The hardest bit about jumping out of a plane is taking that first step. You're trying to push for a career and quit your job and get a new one. The hardest bit is quitting that job, like taking that first step. And I feel like with scheduling, it sort of holds you accountable. So even if, like, the only times I don't get shit done on my calendar is if I simply run out of time. And if I run out of time for it, I reschedule it. If I run out of time for it, I just push it to a different day. And you quickly see how quick stuff builds up. And if that does happen, there will then... I think that's why I'm always so heavy on work, because if that happens, then it gets pushed to the next day. If that builds up again, then it pushes to the next until I have a free day. And then that free day turns into a full day of work. And I feel like I'm pretty strong on getting done what I need to get done. The only times I don't is for outside factors. AKA, like, I need to do something for my mum or my partner or whatever it is, and that is more important than the task at hand. That's the only time I really drag away from that. But without scheduling, bro, I can't remember whoever recommended it to me. But fuck, I wouldn't be where I am today without scheduling, The next thing I want to talk about is to not be afraid to ask questions. I did just have to cut that. I don't know why my camera stopped. It died or something. I don't know what happened. that also ties into you were never too old to try something new. I feel like a lot of people box themselves in the sense of they think there could be many factors, but a prominent one is they're too old to start something. That, like, even going back to my partner again, she's saying, like, oh, I feel like an idiot if I'm going... She's just starting TAFE, right? And I think she was questioning what she wanted to do at TAFE and the direction she wanted to head in. One of the things was like, oh, I feel too fucking old to, like, join it because there's going to be all these people that are younger than me. And I sat there and said, like, do you realize there's people that are going to be in that class? There might not be a majority of people, but there's going to be at least one or two people that are 40, 50 years old. You are in your early 20s, like, you are not too old. And even at that age, at 40, 50, there'd be... The reason there's not a good chunk of people in there that are that age is because they all think that same thing of, oh, fuck, man, like, I'm too old, like, I'm going to be judged or whatever it is. You're not, like, you're never too old for anything. And I feel like the second you stop learning and asking questions is the second you put a stop to yourself, you know? It's just unhealthy to not ask those questions or whatever. In my opinion, that is. And as I said, I'm asking questions, bro. Like, I personally am forever learning. No matter how much I think I know about something, I'm always asking questions. I'm always experimenting with shit. I'm always trying stuff that's new. It's so easy, I think, for everyone to fall into the habit of doing the same shit. I know I do that as well. Because it's so easy, it's like a comfort net sort of thing. But it is so important to branch out of that. I feel like there's no longevity to doing the same thing over and over and over again. When it comes to business or growing, there is some level of importance when it comes to that in order to get anywhere. Like, you can't keep jumping from thing to thing until something sticks, because you're not going to be trained enough in a particular area. But at the same time, you can't not do that at all, because, well, then you're never going to get anywhere. There might be, like, the golden idea that you haven't tried because you're afraid to, or, like, you don't want to, or whatever it is, but that is your ticket out. Like, that is your ticket to success. So it's definitely a big balance, bro, like, with everything. Balance is everything. I think ever since I turned on a camera for the first time, the two things I've always referenced and talked about is balance and time. That could be a sick tattoo idea, to be honest. Just something to do with balance and time, because no matter what situation you're talking about or what scenario you're talking about, everything involves balance and time. And I feel like probably the only reason I understand that, or I find that prominent in my life, is because I'm a go-getter. I feel like for anyone who's trying to get after it, those two things are always going to fucking come up. And that's something else that I still learn. Like, again, don't be afraid to learn. I'm still learning all the time. Like, you'll notice, I'm sure people know the saying of, like, more money, more problems. I don't have that money yet, you know, but I definitely get why that is said, because the deeper and deeper I tap in with the industry, with myself spiritually, with anything really, like, everything has a surface level that people see from the outside, but everything has depth. You cannot fucking understand anything fully, ever. And if you think you have, then you haven't given it enough chance to learn it fully. Does that make sense? Even something as simple as, say, making your own tea or something, or brewing your own tea. There could be, like, on surface level, that's fucking simple as shit. But the deeper you go in, the more there is to learn about it. You can be very good at it and know a lot about it, but you're never going to know everything. And so, the thing with music, which is what I'm involved with, is that's such a deeply layered concept that you can forever learn with that shit. Same with your self-help, like learning to better yourself. There is so much within that you can forever learn about that too. There's no limit. There's no cap on it. Until AI take over the world. I think I've talked about that in the previous episode, but let's not go too deep into that. Yeah. That's what I've always lived by, bro. Like, to grow and remember. Remembering where I was. Fuck, I've come a long way, hey. Remembering where I was and just always continuing to grow. And in order to grow, you need to constantly learn. You need to constantly ask questions. You need to constantly better yourself. Like, all these things tie in. They're all so deep. I think that's the other reason why I'm always working, bro. Like, because there's so much to learn. I can never not stop learning. I think I'm going to forever be busy with my life because I'm going to forever want to go get what I want, you know? And even when you reach a deadline and you reach a goal, there's fucking an infinite amount of other things that can be learnt or experienced, you know? To be fair, I'm the fact that I'm only 24 years old and I've been through all the shit that I've been through, and that's only 24 years, and I say only 24 years, but realistically, I was probably going out and doing shit at a young age, to be honest. That's probably about 14. That's when it all started. I feel like, well, even before that, I'm learning all the basics of life, because I'm learning how to speak, I'm learning how to walk, I'm learning basic social skills. You know, you're learning all that shit, and then at the age of 14, I started going out and drinking and smoking and partying and doing stupid shit, breaking into places. I learned a lot of street smart through that, and a lot of hardship through that, and went through a lot of hardship, and it turned me into who I am now, where I am constantly trying to, you know, be better for myself or be better for other people, and I don't know how else to word it, bro. Like, I am just always learning and always growing and remembering. Like, let's bring my missus into this again for a sec, right? I don't know if she watches these or not. But, for instance, in the beginning of our relationship, she would always say, like, if I would ever bring anything up about my ex, she would not want to hear any of it at all. And I feel like in that, where we are now, where she would constantly say, I don't want to hear shit about it, so fucking don't bring her up at all. Like, in that, I feel like I've forgotten the mistakes I wasn't supposed to make because I haven't been remembering it. And if I were to just remember where I was and what I was doing, I would hopefully not be doing the same shit. And my memory is so fucking poor, bro. Like, I think because of all the partying and shit I did when I was younger and all the stuff I was doing, my long-term memory's alright, but my short-term is fucking shot, bro. Like, it is absolutely terrible. And that's why I always strive to try and remember. Because everything, all the answers are held, I don't know, they're not really. I was going to say all the answers are held in the past and the future, but it's really the present too. And for me to remove remembering means removing the past, but the past is what made me who I am today, so I do not want to forget that shit. I'd probably need to start taking some sort of fucking vitamins or something for my memory loss, because I feel like I'm going to be one of those people that when I'm a lot older, I'm going to have severe dementia, because my memory's already fucked. Same with my hearing, bro. Like, I've worked in the industry for too long. It's too fucking noisy. I'm only 24, so I've been in the industry for 7 years. 7. Started when I was 17. And I'm already, like, have health problems and hearing problems. I need to get the fuck out of the industry for starters, but, yeah. The future is a scary fucking place, but all you can do within the now is learn as much as you can so that if anything goes fucking completely south, you can do something about it. Or have at least some sort of control about it. Because if you don't learn, if you're not trying to progress, you're going to get to a point and be absolutely screwed. Which is so strange because I've always been called dumb my whole fucking life, bro. Because realistically, I was a bit of a meathead. And I don't mean watching the football or whatever. Funnily enough, I fucking can't stand football at all. I've never been able to enjoy it. But I more mean because I didn't care about school or learning or whatever. And I was always avoiding it. I truly was pretty stupid. Like, I did some dumb shit. I didn't know basic knowledge. To now, I feel like, say if I were to compare myself to people I went to school with, I believe that I would be a fuck ton smarter than what they are. Because I have experienced shit they've never experienced way earlier on where they stopped at school. Like, they only had, a year on me or whatever, and they were already way smarter, because, probably more than a year, because I would never go to school, so, therefore, I would not learn what I needed to learn, but, yeah, look at me now, bro. I know I'm not at a place, and I went out for my mum's birthday today, actually, and I was talking to her about, fuck, it slipped my mind, god damn it, told you, bad memory. Fuck, I can't remember where I was going with that. Oh, that's gonna bug me. I don't want to stay silent because this is the podcast. But I cannot think of it for the life of me what we were talking about. Just then I was talking about school and being a bit smarter, having more experience. Beats me, bro. Fucking beats me. But, oh, that's what it was. I was talking about where I am career-wise and about not giving up and shit. I can't remember what the conversation was even about at this point, to be honest, but I was saying, like, I know the position I'm in and where I'm going, and I'm confident enough to know that even if I'm not where other people are right now, I don't compare myself to other people. I know where I am. And numbers are a thing, but numbers are fake, bro. Like, numbers don't mean shit. And people probably see me and go, oh, he's fucking not going to make it. Like, why does this cunt keep trying? But that's exactly what's going to take me somewhere. And I'm so confident in it. I don't care if this shit takes me 10, 20, 30 years. I don't fucking care, bro. Like, I do this shit because I love it. I love the grind. I love the hustle. And that is what's going to take me to where I need to go. There is no denying it. Like, it is inevitable that I will get somewhere because I'm going to constantly learn and grow and achieve goals that I want to achieve. Even if I don't achieve those goals, bro, I'm going to keep trying to fucking achieve those goals. I'm never going to stop. No matter what fucking high or low I'm in, through scheduling, through discipline. I might have my lows, but I still do shit, bro. And I'm never not going to do stuff because without it, I'm fucking depressed. Don't feel the value within myself, you know? I don't need validation from other people. I need validation from myself. And the only way I feel that is through self-accomplishment and self-value. Like, I that's something I could talk about for a long time because I feel very strongly on that, you know? I feel like some people see their value in looks or how they treat other people or whatever it is. As a person, I feel my value through the work that I do and the help I can... So the help I can provide for other people, but the work that I do is where I hold my value and pride because I know that I put my best efforts in and through that, I know deep down that I've done the best I can and I got fucking distracted again because of camera. That's my bad. But anyways, we've hit that half an hour mark. This has been a good little therapy session. I hope you guys are able to take something out of this as well as I am. I'm enjoying doing these fucking verbal journals as well. They help me get out what I need to get out, but also connect with you guys a bit more as well. I don't know where that was at, but that is fine. I don't know, I was looking for something to say at the end, but I don't have it. Anyways, if you guys did like this, please like and subscribe. Comment down below if you want to hear me talk about anything specific. I'm posting these every single Monday, so if you're new, follow along. I'll have links down in the description of other stuff you can go visit me on. I also create music, if you guys didn't know. So the link in the description for that as well. I've got an album on the way, coming out on the 18th of September. I have not promoted it much, but it is shortly on the way. Which there's so much depth in that, and you guys will hear me talking about stuff and be able to tie a lot of that back to that album. So maybe that's something else I could talk about in a future episode closer to the date of release. But yeah, until next time, guys, I love you very much. I'll speak soon.